Hey, welcome! When you think about legal deadlines, they sound so final, right? Like this giant, scary clock starts ticking and there's just no way to stop it. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the law actually has a few hidden pause buttons built right in? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into. The surprising flexibility behind some of the law's strictest timelines.
So picture this. You've got a really solid legal case, but then life happens. You hit a snag, and all these obstacles start popping up, while the clock is just ticking away. It's a pretty common fear, but it turns out the law actually anticipates this. To really see how this all works, we're going to run what I'm calling the legal obstacle course. We'll follow a hypothetical case from the very beginning to the end, and we'll see exactly where and how the system lets you catch your breath.
Okay, so every legal journey has a starting line. A problem happens, a dispute kicks off, and in that exact moment, an invisible stopwatch starts counting down. This is the very start of our obstacle course.
This initial countdown has a name. It's called the period of limitation. It's basically the window of opportunity the law gives you to officially file your case. For a super common issue, like trying to get money back from a broken contract, that window is usually about 3 years long.
All right, let's meet our runners. On August 10th, 2025, Rohan doesn't pay Priya for a car she sold him. And, bam, the clock officially starts. Priya now has until August 10th, 2028 to take him to court. Seems pretty simple, right? Well, this is where the obstacles start showing up.
The very first challenge for Priya is one that pretty much everyone faces: wading through the maze of official paperwork. And this isn't just about red tape for the sake of it. The law actually gets that this stuff can cause real delays.
And here is our first pause button in action. If you're filing a totally new lawsuit, the day the problem actually started doesn't even count against you. But for something like an appeal, the law goes even further. It literally stops the clock for the entire time it takes you to get the official, certified copies of the court's judgment and decree. You need those documents just to file, so the law gives you that time back. Now, here's the catch. It's this concept of requisite time. The law is being fair, but it's not giving you a free pass to just procrastinate. The clock only pauses for the time the court actually takes to get you those papers, and that pause button only gets hit after you've officially asked for them. So if you wait, say, 6 months before you even put in the request, sorry, that time's on you. The law won't cover that delay.
Let's keep going to the next obstacle. What if the problem isn't the paperwork, but the money? I mean, court fees can be seriously expensive, and you'll be glad to know the law has a plan for that too.
If Priya just can't afford the fees, she can apply to the court to sue as a pauper. Now, get this. While the court is looking into her financial situation to check if her claim is legit, her main 3-year deadline is totally frozen. And here's the brilliant part. Even if her application gets rejected in the end, the time it took to process it still doesn't count against her. It's a guaranteed timeout no matter what.
And now for our last and probably one of the most common obstacles on this course, making an honest mistake. What happens if Priya, with the absolute best intentions, files her case in the completely wrong courthouse?
The law can actually forgive this kind of wrong turn, but Priya has to prove 2 things. First is good faith, that she honestly and truly believes she was in the right place when she filed. And second is due diligence, that she was acting carefully and paying attention the whole time her case was in that wrong court. You can't just realize you messed up and then drag your feet for months on end.
But of course, there's a little fine print. This pause button only works if the basic goal of the lawsuit stays the same. For example, you couldn't file a case in the wrong court to, say, shut down a whole company, and then try to use that pause time to file in the right court for a totally different case about just getting a debt paid back. The core legal problem, the matter and issue, has to be the same.
All right, Priya made it through the obstacle course. She dealt with the paperwork maze, she took a wrong turn but got back on track, and she kept pushing forward. So now, it's time to add it all up and see what those pause buttons did to her final deadline.
So remember, we started with a straightforward 3-year clock. It started ticking on August 10th, 2025, and was supposed to run out on August 10th, 2028. That was her initial period of limitation. But as we now know, that is not the whole story.
She hit the paperwork maze and she took that wrong turn. So let's tally up her timeouts.
First up, let's just say it took her 25 days to get the certified copies of a document she really needed. The law gives her those 25 days right back. The clock was officially paused.
And then her case sat in the wrong court for 2 whole months. That's 60 days before the mistake was caught and she got things moved. Since she acted in good faith and with due diligence, she gets all of that time back, too.
So, you take her original 3 years, you add the time for the paperwork, you add the time she spent in the wrong court. Her new final deadline, the official term is the prescribed period, is now a whopping 3 years and 85 days. I mean, think about that. Those little pause buttons just gave her almost 3 extra months to make her case. That's a huge deal.
And really, this is the big takeaway from our whole obstacle course. Yes, the rules and deadlines are strict for a reason. They make sure problems actually get resolved. But the system was designed by people who understood that the road to justice is almost never a straight, easy path. It has fairness baked right into its mechanics.
Which leaves us with one last thing to chew on. By building in all these pauses and exceptions, is the law making a conscious choice here? Is it sending a message that giving someone a fair chance to have their case heard is, in the end, more important than just closing the books on it? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.